Namaste, Green Wave. It's Miss Amy, and today we are going to mindfully cook a root vegetable dish. So, root vegetables are sweet potatoes, they are butternut squash that I bought already cut and peeled. Root vegetables are also carrots, they are grown from the earth. And all of these are orange root vegetables. But for this specific dish, I'm just going to mindfully cut up the sweet potatoes as well as the butternut squash and put it in what's called a masala. So a masala is a stir fry using the Ayurvedic spices of turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, and other spices that support our body and our mind. So we're going to mindfully add in the spices as well as cook our sweet potatoes and our butternut squash in ghee, which is clarified butter. So in the solid form, it kind of looks like glue, but when I pour this on the stove in the pan and heat it up, it's going to turn into a liquid, which will stir fry our sweet potatoes and butternut squash, along with adding in the spices for our mindful meal today. So first, I'm going to carefully cut up the sweet potatoes. So I already washed them, and anytime you use a knife, make sure an adult is around. So I'm going to carefully cut the sweet potatoes. So I usually just cut off the ends first, and always wash your hands first. And I'm just going to first cut them into circles, and always be careful because they are thick vegetables, root vegetables. They grow in the earth, and these are good during the summertime. In Ayurveda, the sister science of yoga, Pitta season is the summer season, and that is the season where we feel hot, we feel overheated, so we want to eat food that helps to balance our body, bring us into our body, which would be grounding types of food, such as root vegetables that are grown in the earth, that help us feel more cool, help us cool down. So this is a basic masala recipe. So first, I cut the sweet potatoes, as you can see, in circles. And then I'm going to carefully cut them in half. And then I'm going to cut them in a fourth. So then I'm going to cut them again. So we have little pieces of the sweet potato. I'm just going to put those in a bowl that will add in a few moments. So I am mindfully going to cut all of the sweet potatoes, being careful that, I don't hurt myself cutting the root vegetables. And again, root vegetables that I have here that you can find at the grocery store. Carrots is the most common root vegetable. And then we have sweet potatoes and butternut squash, and potatoes come from the earth too. So again, using what you have, and you can practice mindfulness the next time you're at the grocery store to notice what other root vegetables might you see at the store. And the orange vegetables, they have the beta carotene. So they help our skin, they help our eyesight, they also help us to stay healthy. So eating our fruits and our vegetables is super important for a healthy body and a healthy mind. And we can practice mindfulness when we're cooking, when we're baking. And part of Ayurveda, again, the sister science of yoga, is to practice self-care. So we're putting care into our body, into the food that we're eating. How can we nourish to flourish? Right? We want to eat healthy food to help our body and to help our mind. So I am going to cut up all of these sweet potatoes and then cut up the already cut and peeled butternut squash, but I want to make the pieces a little smaller for this masala. So here are all of the cut sweet potatoes that I cut up in quarters and fourths. Again, always be careful when using a knife, especially when it comes to root vegetables, as they can be thicker. So please, please practice mindfulness. And again, we can notice the color, the difference in texture between each piece. So this is part one of our root orange vegetable masala. And now I'm going to cut up into smaller pieces the cut and peeled butternut squash, because even though it already came cut, the pieces are very big. Butternut squash to me smells more like a pumpkin. So another, type of orange vegetable that is also has tons of good nutrients for our body and for our mind. So it has a similar scent to it. Again, we can practice mindfulness by using our senses, especially when it comes to cooking. What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does the texture feel like? So we can, savor the flavor. So I'm just cutting the butternut squash chunks into smaller pieces. And, you can cook butternut squash in a soup. You can cook it with other vegetables, but just for the purpose of today's activity, I am mixing it with additional root vegetables for pitta season. This is pitta pacifying. It helps to cool our body down, bring us back into the earth. It's very grounding when the heat might make our brain swirl and twirl. So this is a good practice to eat, especially in the summertime, in what Ayurveda calls pitta season. So I am just cutting the butternut squash into smaller pieces. And now that they are a smaller size, I'm going to put together the butternut squash and the sweet potatoes in our pan. But before I do that, we are going to add the ghee, which is clarified butter. And you'll see it's right now a combination of a solid and a liquid because it's warm. So I am going to pour this on the frying pan and heat it up first, so it's a liquid, and then place the sweet potatoes and the butternut squash so that we can saute it, and then we'll add in our masala spices. So here is the ghee, and as you can see, some of it is already a liquid and the other is a solid. It's like yellow chunks. So I am going to heat this on the stove so this all will turn into a liquid. So as you can see, the yellow consistency there, but the whole pan, it will turn into a liquid. We won't even know that it's yellow once it all heats up. And especially for thicker root vegetables, we want to add a little extra oil to make sure it gets absorbed for all of the vegetable, because it soaks it up a little bit more quickly. So we're going to heat this up on the stove and then add in our root veggies. And as you can see, I heated up the ghee in the frying pan on the stove, and it is now fully a liquid. So I know it's might be a little hard to see, but this is super hot. And again, I want to be mindful that I don't burn myself. But as you can see, it is now a liquid. And once I put this back on the stove, we'll add the veggies and then we'll add our spices. So the spices that we're going to add into our masala, we have ground ginger. We're going to add in some red cayenne pepper, turmeric, And turmeric is super good for our body, especially when it comes to immunity. It helps to keep our body healthy. So turmeric is a really important spice in Ayurveda. And you always want to mix turmeric with some black pepper because it activates the qualities in it that help our body stay healthy. So you always want to make sure your turmeric goes along with pepper. We're also going to add in some cumin, some garlic, our Himalayan pink sea salt, because again, this helps clear out our lungs so we can breathe better. And we're mixing it in our ghee. Again, this is a traditional Ayurvedic meal. Other spices that are connected to Ayurveda is coriander seeds and fennel, but I don't have those spices right now, so I'm just using what I have. I also have additional spices that I found at Trader Joe's. And again, just practicing mindfulness when it comes to reading the label. So this one, it's called vegan chickenless salt. And it is made with salt, onion powder, turmeric, and garlic powder. So this has the turmeric mixed in. And then just reading, again, the label, it says, this little shaker delivers big flavor with its comforting combination of warm and savory spices. For a delicious, full flavor, add to soup, salad, broths, vegetables, or wherever you'd like to add a little something extra. But for today, I'm just going to use the traditional spice on its own, not a spice blend. I also have from Trader Joe's the Cuban style citrusy garlic. So a bright citrus and aluminum blend with salt. So reading the label, it says, consider this blend in homage to the mojo sauce discovered in Cuban restaurants around the United States. Use this like a rub on proteins or vegetables for grilling, cooking on the skillet, or roasting, anywhere you want a pop of flavor. So reading the spices that are in here, the ingredients, it has garlic, citric acid. So it has, it kind of has that orangey tang to it. Onion powder, salt, lime oil, lime juice, red pepper, bay leaves, coriander powder, cumin powder, ground black pepper, rice concentrate, bitter orange oil, oregano, cilantro, basil, lemon oil, marjoram, and parsley. So there are a lot of types of spices in here. So of course, if you had any allergies, always read the label. That is really important when it comes to, purchasing products, especially being mindful of who you're serving your food to if there's any type of food allergy. So always read the label, even if it's a spice. Another spice that I have from Trader Joe's blend is called the Ajika Georgian Seasoning Blend. Spicy, garlicky, and deeply aromatic and savory. And the ingredients in here are crushed chili peppers, coriander, fenugreek, diced minced garlic, salt, and marigold. So it even has some flowers in it, the marigold. And the description is spicy, earthy, and alluringly aromatic. Ajika is a traditional seasoning blend from the country of Georgia used to add pepper, garlic, and savory notes to dishes. Sprinkle generously over steaks, stews, roast, or grilled vegetables for an extra kick of hearty, satisfying spice. So again, these are blends of multiple spices together. So we could make our own blend by, blending them all together than using one that's already, created for us. And the last mixture that I have is called the Za'atar seasoning blend. And it says, you hold in your hand a Middle Eastern inspired seasoning blend. It's aromatic, versatile, and about to become your favorite. Sprinkle over hummus or Greek yogurt, drizzle pita bread with olive oil, and top with za'atar. It's a lovely over meat, fish, vegetables, and potatoes. So this has toasted sesame seed, spices of thyme, marjoram, coriander, oregano, chickpea flour, sea salt, sunflower oil, citric acid, and lemon oil. So this also has a little tangy flavor because of the citrus ingredients. So again, these are going to have a different kick. I wouldn't necessarily blend them all together. I've tried it once before and it doesn't really come out that great. So it's better to use these on their own. I always like to add a little bit of turmeric to everything. That again helps keep me healthy, health as well. So do what feels best for you and always add a little at a time. You can always add more, you can't really take away. If you wanted to make your root vegetables on the sweeter side, you could cook them with coconut oil, and you could use spices such as cinnamon, some nutmeg, or I have this blend of pumpkin pie spice, and the blend, so it's made out of cinnamon, ginger, lemon peel, nutmeg, cloves, and cardamom. So again, you would have a more sweeter kind of warming type of flavor if you were going to use cinnamon and nutmeg, and even add a little bit of ginger to it too. So again, just knowing what type of taste you're looking for when you're cooking something. I love this book by my teacher, Ali Kramer. It's called Modern Ayurveda, Rituals, Recipes, and Remedies for Balance. So in this book, there are awesome recipes that you can try that are connected to Ayurveda. And this sweet potato recipe comes from her book, and she calls it the Pitta Relief Snack. And in her recipe, she does use the coconut oil, but I wanted mine to be a little more savory than sweet. So that's why I am using the ghee and the other spices than cinnamon. But she has the recipe here. And again, practicing mindfulness, we follow the directions. I'm just making this from scratch because I've made this many times. But again, if you have the opportunity to go to the library or to a bookstore, check out Modern Ayurveda, as there are some awesome Ayurvedic recipes that are really simple to follow. And again, help us to have a healthy well-being, because health is wealth. So now we are going to add all of these spices to create what's called a masala on our orange root veggie mindful meal. So here are our sweet potatoes and our butternut squash, and they are already coated in ghee, and we are going to add our spices to them. So the first spice that we're going to add is our pepper. So I'm going to, again, sprinkle this on our sweet potatoes and our butternut squash. Next, I'm going to add our salt, our Himalayan pink sea salt. Now I'm going to add the turmeric. Sometimes it gets stuck coming out, so you just gotta use your hand to gently guide it out. So we have our turmeric, which again, it will have a yellow or orangey tint to it. You can make turmeric with milk and make it into golden milk, another Ayurvedic drink, where again, you can add a pinch of pepper, some honey, and some sugar, and warm it up on the stove to make a nice warm milk that helps with digestion. Now I'm going to add in the ginger. And again, all of these spices help our body with digestion, with immunity, helping us stay healthy and strong physically and mentally. So now I'm adding in the ginger. And next, I'm going to add in the red cayenne pepper. Next, I'm going to add in the cumin. Sometimes it's a little tricky coming out, so you just have to help it come out. And then I'm gonna add in a little bit of garlic. Some of the spices come out easier than the other. Just gonna shake up the cumin one more time because again, cumin is another really good Ayurvedic spice for you that just seems to be having trouble coming out. So sometimes when that happens, you have to open up the lid, and I usually, see how it's a little stuck there, I usually take a knife and just mix it around so that it will flow a little bit better through the holes, because again, it will come out of that. So sometimes it just needs a little extra support. Okay, so this is what it looks like before I'm going to mix it all together. So this is our masala, all the spices. And now I'm going to mix it all up. So all of the pieces of sweet potato and the butternut squash get marinated in the masala. And then I'm gonna let it cook. So it's probably gonna cook for at least 45 minutes. Again, this is one where we guesstimate, right? So I'm just gonna keep my eye on the stove to see how it's going to come out. So I have it on a low flame as well. And as you can see, as all of the spices come together with the ghee, it's creating a darker orange color. So again, we can practice mindfulness with just noticing the color, noticing the texture, noticing the scents, the smells of our food as it transforms, right? Because food is medicine. So what we put into our body is really important that we need to be mindful of. So as the vegetables start to cook, you're going to notice a change in color, a change in the texture. And again, every now and then I use my spatula to just, mix it all up. So our root orange veggies cook some more. So as our root vegetables are still cooking on the stove, we are going to make one more sweet treat that also has to do with a purple yam, which is another type of root vegetable. And this is called ube. It's made by Trader Joe's, makes the different types of ube merchandise. And we're mindfully going to make the ube pancakes tonight. And they also make the ube tea cookies. So it says purple yam shortbread cookies with powdered sugar. And they look like this. This is what the purple yam tea cookies look like. And they are that color purple, and they have the icing on it. And we can practice mindful eating by smelling the purple yam, the ube, and it kind of it has like a vanilla smell to it. It also kind of smells like a pistachio. So it's an earthy, again, because it's from the earth, the purple yam. And on the box, again, to mindfully read what's the cookie, it says each of our sweet and crumbly ube tea cookies is made from all butter shortbread that's been mixed with slightly savory ube, the popular purple tuber from the Philippines. They have a unique, lightly earthy flavor and satisfying toothsome bite, which are both enhanced by the generous dusting of powdered sugar over each cookie surface. While they make a great companion to a nice steaming cup of coffee or tea, we also like to enjoy them simply by the handful as a quick, delicious dessert. So that is what the ube cookie looks like. Again, that's the picture on the box. This is what it looks like right out of the box. And again, the powdered sugar kind of all melted together since it is summertime. And always being mindful to read the ingredients, what's inside this. So it contains milk, wheat, may contain traces of egg, soy, peanut, almond, coconut, macadamia nut, pecan, and walnut. So if you are allergic to nuts, do not eat these, but you can find these at Trader Joe's. They also make the ube ice cream. So this is purple. It says purple yam flavored ice cream. So another sweet treat for Pitta season. And as you can see, it is purple ice cream. And to me, it just tastes like vanilla. So this is the ube. It's the purple yam. So another way we can mindfully eat the root vegetables in the form of an ice cream, of a sweet treat. And finally, what we are going to cook now and mindfully make by reading the directions is, it's called the ube mochi pancake and waffle mix, a chewy mochi pancake mix with purple yam, and it's gluten-free. So again, we're going to read the back, and it says, those familiar with ube, the name purple yams are known by in the Philippines, known that is a very popular flavor in jams, cakes, candies, ice cream, and now pancakes and waffles. We combined ube puree with rice flour to create a sweet, chewy breakfast treat. And you can rest easy knowing that its beautiful purple hue is from red cabbage and reddish juices. And mornings will never be the same. And then you'll notice it tells you how to make it by how many servings you want to make, how many pancakes. So if you're going to make 4 pancakes or 2 waffles, you need 3/4 cup of the mix, a 1/3 cup of water, 1 egg, oil or butter, 1 tablespoon. If you wanted to make 8 4-inch pancakes or 4 waffles, you would need 1 1/2 cup of the mix, a 1/2 cup of the water, 2 eggs, and 2 tablespoons of oil or butter. And if you were going to make 12 4-inch pancakes, or 6 waffles, you would need the full package of 3/4 cup of water, 3 eggs, and 3 tablespoons of oil or butter. So we're just going to make a small batch of pancakes today. So we're going to follow the top one for 4 pancakes. So we'll need 3/4 cup of water, which I've already measured out for us, 3/4 cup of water. Then we're going to need my mistake. It's 3/4 cup of the mix. So here's the mix here. That again, it doesn't really look purple, but we'll see how it turns out. We need 3/4 cup of the mix, which we have our other empty container that we will fill it up to right here where it says 3/4 cup. And I had already poured in the water, which was a 1/3 cup of water. So 1/3 cup of water. And then it calls for 1 egg. And we're going to follow the directions. Oh, and we have our coconut. We're going to use coconut oil in our mix, and also coconut oil to heat it up. So again, coconut is another Ayurvedic oil that is good to eat for our body, internally, for our joints, and also externally. We can use coconut oil like a lotion. So again, this is another Ayurvedic style of, health is wealth, of these nutritious foods that we can have a little sweet spin on. So we are mindfully going to make the ube purple yam pancakes right now. So mindfully following the directions. So our ube purple yam pancakes come out tasty. It says preheat griddle or skillet to 350 degrees. In a large mixing bowl, whisk together eggs, water, and melted butter or oil. So step 1, we are going to use in our mixing bowl the water, which I already measured, which is our 1 1/3 cup of water. We are going to add in our egg. And I see some shells that came out. So I need to get a spoon. We don't want eggshells in our mix. Whisk too, but I see I got a couple shells in there, so we're just gonna mindfully try to get that shell out. It's a little hard to do sometimes. All right, got one little piece of the shell out. And again, we have to be mindful so we don't eat the shells because that wouldn't taste good. So every now and then, sometimes that happens when you're cracking an egg, the shell of the egg, you know, but again, that's why we practice mindfulness to notice, right? What do you see? What do you observe as the shell? It was in that, so we just want to get that out. All right, I think that's all the shells. So we have our egg, and oh, we need our oil. Once again, we're going to use our coconut oil. So a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, again, using a little math and mindfulness as we cook. So here is our oil. Put that in. So it's having us mix our liquids first. So if you can see, I am mindfully mixing the water, the egg, and the coconut oil. Again, this is our Ayurvedic sweet treat using our purple yams for pitta pacifying treats. And we could even add in the purple yam ice cream if we wanted to too at the end. So next it says to add pancake mix and whisk until well combined and batter is smooth. If batter thickens, add water by teaspoon as needed. Lightly oil the griddle or skillet. Use approximately a 1/4 cup batter for each 4-inch pancake and cook about 2 minutes or until bubbles start forming and edges are turning brown. Flip and cook additional 2 minutes or until golden brown. Serve immediately. All right, so now we are going to pour in the mix. Cut the bag. And again, we're just going to make a small batch. So we are going to, it says 3/4 cup. So we are going to move that over for a minute. And we're going to pour it to where it says 3/4 cup. And when it's out of the package, I can see more of the purple hues to it. We still need more, but just so you can see. And it smells just like the ice cream actually, and the cookie. So it has almost like a vanilla like smell. It's very earthy. Again, because yams are from the earth. They're grown from the ground. Again, this helps to ground us. So let's see here. Oh, we still need more because we want to go up to here. And that's just about 3/4 cups of our mix. And we're gonna pour it in and mix it up. But before I pour it in, I'm just gonna check on our sweet potatoes as I hear them bubbling. So I'm just gonna check in on that before we mix this up. So I'm gonna mindfully now combine my liquid and my solid ingredient to mix up to make our pancake ube batter. So I'm just adding a little at a time, and I'm noticing it's turning more purple. This is the first time I've ever made these before. So again, the ube is that purple yam from the Philippines that is in Asia. And it is definitely turning the batter purple. And again, I'm just adding a little at a time using the whisk to mix it up to make our purple yam pancakes. And again, it smells just like the other ube products that I've had from Trader Joe's. It smells just like the ice cream and those tea cookies. And check it out. It is all purple from Purple Yams. So now that it's all mixed up, I'm going to pour this back into the other container so it's easier to pour this on the stove because I have the coconut oil heated up so these will cook. And again, we'll know that they're ready when they are bubbling on the sides or their sides are brown. So it's just easier to pour in this Pyrex dish than from the bowl onto the hot stove. And always, always make sure a grown-up is around. So here we have our ube purple yam pancake batter as we are mindfully going to make pancakes right now. Okay, so as you can see, our sweet potato butternut squash masala is still cooking, and you can notice the color has changed. They're much softer, they're mushier, they're that golden orange color. So they are still on a low flame cooking. And then I have a different spatula for our pancakes so we don't, mix and match everything. So on this frying pan, I have the coconut oil that's been heated up, so it's all ready to go. And we are going to make our first pancake, our first ube purple yam pancake. So I want to be super careful because sometimes it may splatter. So I'm going to make my first pancake just like that. You can see the pancake bubbling, and we can see the sides. It's hot because the sides are bubbling up. So we want to give it a few moments as I'm mindfully watching it so I know when to flip it over. But again, it's changing color. I'm noticing the little bubbles, the little circles happening. And while that does that, I am going to get a plate. So it's ready for us when it's done. So I have my plate ready. We're gonna check on our other root veggies here, give them a little stir fry, stir it up. And you can also, so you could eat just the sweet potatoes and butternut squash masala just as is. You could cook it with pasta. You could cook it with rice. You could create a khichdi. And in Ayurveda, a khichdi is a combination of rice and beans and mung beans and lentils and different veggies that are in season. So if you could add in spinach or kale, and that helps to nourish our body. It helps with digestion. And there's so many different ways you can make a khichdi. Again, in my teacher's book, Modern Ayurveda by Ali Kramer, there's a few varieties of khichris based on your dosha. So we have 3 doshas, Pitta, Kapha, and Vata. And again, right now we are in Pitta season, which is the summertime. So it's our constitution, what our body is made up of. So that's a whole nother lesson. But for right now, we're just sticking with our root veggies for Ayurveda. So I'm noticing that our pancake is bubbling. Oops. And I think it's just about ready. I noticed the brown edges to be flipped over. So we are carefully going to flip me over. I am cooked. And it is golden. Wow. It looks great. So again, I just flipped it over and you can notice it's a little golden brown, but I still see the purple there. I still see the purple. And there are the sweet potatoes. So we're multitasking here, doing 2 things at once. Always be mindful if you're multitasking in the kitchen. So nothing burns or overcooks. Great to be mindful. So this looks like it's cooking up really quickly. And I have my plate ready. Take a peek and oh yes, that is ready. So check it out. We have our very first pancake that is all ready. Our ube pancake number 1. All right, we have more batter left as we continue. And the hotter the stove is, the faster your pancakes are going to cook. So we're just going to do 1 pancake at a time. To mindfully notice, what do you see? What do you smell? I see the bubbles. I also smell the coconut oil. Also want to be careful that the hot oil doesn't burn me or ruin my device. So lots to be mindful of right now when you're cooking on Zoom to put on YouTube. So this is almost ready to flip over. Yeah, we'll give it another minute. We'll check on our other veggies here. So we have orange and purple root veggies. And again, use what you have. Notice what you can use in your cupboard. And again, the next time you go to the grocery store, check out the spice aisle, check out the veggie aisle, and notice even just the different types of root vegetables, even just the different types of sweet potatoes, right? There's all different brands, different shapes, you know? So I can tell this is ready to be flipped over. The purple is a little harder since it's ready. 1, 2, 3, flipped. All right, again, I can still, it's not a super bright purple. It almost kind of looks a little blue to me here, almost like a blueberry, you know? So again, this is ube purple yam pancakes. Letting that cook. And again, I'm being mindful of the hot coconut oil. And this is good coconut oil to cook with. This is refractionated coconut oil. I got this from ShopRite. Coconut oil in the solid form looks like glue, similar to the ghee, but when you heat it up, it turns into a liquid. And These are cooking very, very fast, and I think it's ready. So we have our other pancake plate right here, and we're gonna put our pancake right on the other pancake. And again, we have another beautiful pancake. And once again, we will mindfully pour another pancake. And again, immediately I notice the edges are bubbling, especially when the stove has been on for a while, because I was using this burner to cook the sweet potato. So it's pretty hot, it's pretty ready to roll. So again, I'm keeping my eye on that while I'm also checking in on our other root veggies. And now we are going to carefully, sometimes it's hard to, your pancakes come out too big, it's hard to flip it all in one. I might need another spatula to help me here, because I don't think this is gonna flip all on its own. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Oh, there it goes. Again, this one, you can kind of see more purple to this pancake. And the recipe was correct. We have enough batter for just about one more, and the recipe called for 4 pancakes. So it's pretty accurate when we follow the directions. Again, one step at a time, one breath at a time. It's so important to follow the directions, so our product, our final product, comes out great. And again, being mindful of who we're serving, I'm just gonna have these, so I can't wait to try it. I've actually never had an ube pancake before. And we'll flip this one over so we can compare and contrast. A little softer purple. This one's a little bit of color. Another second, so we know it's fully cooked. And as you can see, this one I didn't burn, so we can see the purple there a little bit better. And one final pancake, I think, from this batter. Oops, that's hot. Making the coconut oil go all around as our final pancake, which I think I'm gonna need 2 spatulas to flip it. So that's our final pancake that we're going to flip over. So this is our final purple yam pancake, and we can mindfully notice that there's the different shades of purple, the different bubbles. This is our biggest one yet, and we are gonna do our best to flip it over in one piece. And of course, if it breaks, that's okay. Even if it breaks, it's still edible. It's just like, a crayon. Even if a crayon is broken, it still colors. So let's see. I think we're gonna need 2 spatulas here to flip me over. Oops, I am cooked. And we notice, right? What do we see? With our purple pancake, it is still cooking. More towards the middle. So again, it is always important to follow the directions if you're baking something, you know, from the box, you know, like a pancake mix, a cake mix, a brownie mix. It is so important to follow the directions using math with mindfulness so that it comes out tasty, right? And we can practice our mindful eating by slowly eating each piece of food to notice the taste, the texture, the savor, the flavor, so that we enjoy our food and we don't rush through it. So that, again, it nourishes our body, nourishes our mind, so that we can be the best we can be, because health is wealth. So it looks like our pancake is done, and then we will mindfully notice. So another one that we can see more of those purple hues, and we'll compare and contrast just by looking at our pancakes. And here are our final product. So our finished product of our orange root veggie masala. Again, I wish we could all taste this. It smells amazing. So again, this is what it looks like. As you can see how all of the flavors, the spices came together with the ghee. And again, this is going to be so delicious. You could add this to rice or pasta or some, you know, kale or spinach, or just eat it as is. Sometimes I like to eat it with a little ketchup too. And then we have our purple ube yam pancakes. So check out how beautiful they came out. Again, we can practice mindfulness by noticing the different shapes, the texture, the color. So once again, you can practice mindfulness with whatever you do. And this was our mindful meal for root veggies for Ayurveda, the sister science of yoga, for Pitta season. So remember, health is wealth. Be mindful of what you eat. Be mindful of how you prepare it. And with whatever you do, prepare it with kindness. So you're kind to yourself, so you can be kind to everyone else. Namaste.